At the beginning of every year, I like to make a video reflecting on the past year, so going through my accomplishments, my yearly favorites, and New Year resolutions. And I thought I would discuss all this while you guys can watch me paint in real time. And I actually don't think I've done a video like this before, but this entire process is recorded in real time, not a single second of it is sped up. I started posting again in July, so I've been back for 6 months. So I guess my accomplishments are from these past 6 months. And I always write down my resolutions in my bullet journal, but I don't have that with me at the moment. I left that in London, so I don't actually remember what my resolutions were for this year. And at the beginning of the year, I don't even know if I was planning on getting back into art, but I can't remember at which point I decided that I was gonna start back up in the summer, but I do think that my biggest accomplishment of the year is that I started posting again and I started being consistent again online, at least here on YouTube and on TikTok. And for a while on Instagram, kind of gave up with that. I'd rather focus on 2 platforms. So yeah, I have been successful in being consistent for these past 6 months. I guess some other accomplishments I feel like I've had this year is that in these 6 months I have grown from 380 subscribers. Like before I started posting again, I had 380 subscribers from before, and by the end of the year I hit 800. And I know that's not a lot, but people always say that like your first few hundreds or first few thousands of followers are always the hardest to gain, so it's what's going to go the slowest. And I'm obviously happy for any and all amount that I have on any platforms. So yeah, gaining like around 400, a little over 400 subscribers in these 6 months since I've been back. That's big to me. And yeah, I did start a new TikTok account, so that I created that back in like June. I didn't start posting until July, and I ended the year with nearly 200 followers. And you know what, for 6 months, for a brand new account, for someone who isn't very big on any platform, you know, I think I'll take it. One of my biggest resolutions for this year, and therefore one of my biggest accomplishments, was to experiment more, and because I just wanted to get out of my comfort zone, because I feel like I was stuck in that for a long time. Basically my entire art life, I feel like I've been very much in my comfort zone and I haven't stepped very far out of it. And I think that studying illustration at university has really helped me step out of that comfort zone. So I think it's hard to remember now, because I really only remember the things that I have now documented for these past 6 months. But from what I can remember from this year, I made a zine for school, which I've obviously never done anything like that before. I think that was my final major project as well for my first year, so that's something I did like early 2024. I made some kind of 3D paper art thing. I'll try to look for a picture of it and put it in here, but that was a very like big project for me because I'm not a very 3D person. I like drawing on my paper. That was very challenging, and it could obviously be better. Anything could always be better, but I am proud of myself for doing this and for stepping out of my comfort zone. And I guess some other things I've done through school is I've done a lot of printmaking, so a lot of lino cut, and screen printing. Those are the 2 like printmaking stuff that I really enjoy at university, so I've done a fair amount of that throughout the year. That's also something I had never done before. And yeah, I've also stepped out of my comfort zone when it comes to what I draw, and like I guess art styles as well, because I've done a lot more architecture and landscapes this year. And I've also done some wildlife stuff, which is the first time I've ever done that. Like over the summer I was drawing a lot of like fish and sea life, but I drew some ducks. I've drawn some birds for different projects at school as well. And yeah, these are all things that I never thought that I would ever be able to draw. But I I have been really trying to push myself because I want to be good at these things, and I'm not going to be good if I don't practice. So, yeah. I guess other things I can think of is that I use studying as a very loose term when I say this, but I have been kind of working on understanding the arcane art style, which is a bit more realistic than my own art style, because they really focus on like the planes of the face and stuff, and I do want to get better at stuff like that and use more realism in my semi-realism. So yeah, I do think that I've done a good job at getting out of my comfort zone and really experimenting and practicing different things in different mediums, and that at the end of the day was one of my biggest resolutions for the year, and I do think I accomplished it. I also drew more backgrounds, which is something I always wanted to do more of. And yeah, those were my accomplishments of 2024. So my art resolutions for 2025, I want to gain a bigger audience. I want to see success with my social platforms. Obviously, if I just continue, consistency is key, and as long as I'm consistent, there will be growth, even if it is slow growth. So, I'll see any growth as improvement. But yeah, I think it would be great to hit maybe 1,000, maybe 1,500 subscribers on YouTube. I think that'd be great. I managed to get like between 400 and 500 in my 6 months back. So surely for 12 months, surely I can get somewhere between 1,000 and 1,500. That would be great. And I would love to hit 500 followers on TikTok as well. I would like to reopen my Etsy shop this summer. I can't remember how long ago it was that I had it. I had it open for a few months back when I first created it a few years back, and then I had to shut it down because I just got too busy with school, and obviously I can't really run it when I'm out of the country, because I study in England, but I live in Norway. My family lives in Norway. My studio's in Norway, and therefore all my stuff is in Norway. And I don't have access to a printer and all my materials and stuff when I'm studying in London. So, I just couldn't run my shop. But I do think it'd be nice to reopen it while I'm back in the summer, because I have a pretty long summer break at university. So I may as well have it open for, say, 3 months while I'm back. And yeah, I'd love to sell some products. I want to actually finish my sketchbook this year. I do think I'm close to finishing it. It's a shame that I couldn't have it with me over Christmas break, because I had to leave it on my desk for all our December assessments, so I don't have it with me right now. But I will finish it. That is going to happen this year. I would like to make an animation as well. And lastly, I just want to be consistent, and I want to continue experimenting. Lastly, I'd like to talk about my yearly favorites. I always kept track of what things I loved in each month in my bullet journal, but I kind of stopped doing that this year, and I now do it on my iPad because it's just more convenient, because I do travel a lot and I bring my iPad everywhere. So I just write it down on GoodNotes now. But I didn't start doing that until October. So I only have 3 months worth of monthly favorites. And other than that, I'm going off of memory, and my memory is so poor. So I can't remember my favorites from the rest of the year, but I will do my best. So here are my 2024 favorites. I have the same genres as I do every time I make this video. And that's books, games, TV and movies, and songs. For books, I actually think my favorite book of the year, or at least my top 3 books, they don't necessarily have to be in order, because I don't know how I would order them, but my top 3 would have to be The Dragon Republic, House of Earth and Blood, and Heartless. Those were the 3 books that really stayed with me throughout the year and made an impact on me. And I think some honorable mentions are Percy Jackson and the Last Olympian, and The Prison Healer. My favorite games of 2024, my top 3 I do think will have to be Moonlighter, Graveyard Keeper, and Infinity Nikki. Some honorable mentions are Cult of the Lamb and Cord Keeper. I do believe that Cult of the Lamb would probably be up in my top 3, but I started playing it like probably less than a week before the year was even over, so I just felt like it was kind of wrong to have it in the list. But it had to be an honorable mention nonetheless, because I still love it so much. For TV and movies, I only have one thing, and that is Arcane Season 2. I just don't watch stuff. I have too many hobbies, so I kind of have to pick and choose, and just watching things I just don't care for it the same way I care for, like, reading and art and video games. So I cannot for the life of me remember anything else that I have watched this year. At least anything that's left an impact on me, but Arcane is obviously so good that, you know what, it can take this genre all for itself. And lastly, for songs, I have Foggy Windows, which was my most listened to song on Spotify this year. I have Dead to Me, and I have Headlock. And for honorable mentions, I have What If and High Wasted on You. And yeah, those are my 2024 favorites. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know if you like seeing more real-time stuff. And yeah, I hope that you guys like this little gouache painting. I think it literally took me like 20 minutes to make. I just needed something quick to record to get out this video, because I'm gonna try to pre-record at least one more video, hopefully a few, because I am leaving on Sunday. So the day this comes out, actually, I will be traveling back to the UK, and I'll be staying at my partner's place for the next week until I start back up at uni. So I won't be able to like record any videos there, so I just want to have content ready in advance. So yeah, let me know if you guys enjoy this kind of content, and yeah, keep up with my YouTube shorts, follow me on TikTok, and I'll see you guys next week.